Hello, and thank you for reviewing my presentation. This is the Managing Machine Learning Projects final project, and my name's Victor. Let's get started. First off, our situation, our scenario for this project is going to involve a medium-sized company, SaaS provider for individual consumers. While the company's been around for several years and has seen continuous growth in subscriptions, they do persistently see about a 6% account churn or loss of customers due to voluntary cancellations about every quarter. So, as a result of this being an individual customer service, obviously response to CSATs or reasons for cancellation both tend to be pretty limited. And despite their best efforts, the marketing team focusing on customer retention has not seen a lot of progress, regardless of methods that have been tried. Therefore, our problem statement is we have a fact-based understanding of when a customer is actually at risk. Are we simply preaching to the choir when we talk about the benefits? Are we add additional marketing? Are we simply talking about to the customers who are already planning on staying? Or is there a way to change some minds and get people to stick around? If we can't do that, then we continue to have lost revenue based on the account churn. So we want to be able to optimize that. So there is a problem. People definitely care, and potentially machine learning could help. Why could machine learning potentially help? Well, what we think is that machine learning may be able to predict cancellation risks for customers based on their traits, their behaviors. So, for example, several factors that we'll see outlined on the next slide are going to be potentially key triggers of this person could be on their way out the door. This could be anything from, well, they've been really late paying their bills to well, they've had a lot of bad customer service incidents. So being able to see that, being able to look through all the data and flag the at-risk customers would be able to provide information to the marketing team that would give them an idea of where to focus, what the reason is for the cancellation motivations, and therefore can improve impact of retention efforts, and the outcome is going to be higher profitability overall. We do want to set up a classification model that's going to target and identify as positive any accounts that seem to have a 50% probability of canceling within the next few months. Similar information on this slide. Obviously, success is going to be based on the identification of these models. And as we go through our validation plan, et cetera, we'll see how we can refine that. We want at least an accuracy prediction of 90%. And at best, this should mean that we're seeing roughly, since we're only losing 6% of our accounts per quarter, should mean that we're seeing roughly anything under 10%. If we're seeing more, then we're getting a lot more false positives, and we'll need to refine our model. So factors that we identified that could have impact, obviously the age of the account, how long have they been with us? Have they been changing their services, trying to cut back on services? Did we hit them with a price hike? What time of year? Are these people who signed up during Christmas and now are not using it in the summer? Are we seeing that they've been doing a lot of usage, or are we seeing that they're only consuming a few hours of service per week? And so that could also be an indicator that they're leaning away from it. And of course, when was the last time we talked to them about a benefit or a sale? That could be driving them away as well as maybe pulling them in. So we want to check all of those factors as well. When we go ahead and we get this model put together, we look at our validation plan, we'll start by back testing, seeing just how much the model would have identified people who actually did leave. We'll then go ahead and do a shadow run, which is basically that we would run the system in production, but we would not take action with customers based on that. We would simply be pulling the data to make sure we're getting information and trends that seem logical. We would then do a pilot with the marketing team, and this is where we really start to see our cash value, and the marketing team can go in and start to work against control groups to see if retention programs are having effect. Of course, as we go forward, before we actually scale out, we're going to want to make sure that we are seeing the accuracy we want and that we are actually able to see some ROI on this in the area of being able to actually impact retention. And if we do, then we'll go ahead and monitor, and of course, we'll track for drift. When we're building this out, basically edge, offline, and batch are really the areas we're going to go with. The reasons for this are we are not providing a directly customer-facing output. And so this is going to be controlled analysis. This is going to be where the marketing team ideally is going to, on a regular basis, be able to see dashboards and information that indicate who's at risk, and then the marketing team will decide how to approach that based on their retention plan. So based on that, based on the fact that we don't need it quick and dirty, and we want to make sure it's better at being accurate, we're going to go again with cloud processing, offline learning, and batch predictions. Of course, risks that we're going to run into, a lot that you're going to see with customer-facing AI tracking and machine learning. Obviously, you're going to have product changes, turmoil, just weird cultural shifts like the Cracker Barrel event. It could also be an industry disruptor. There could be someone out there competing in our market who unleashes something that simply pulls all the customers in their direction for a while. So, of course, we'll set up regular monitoring, monthly recalibration, and retraining. Another risk, of course, is timeliness. Are we getting the risk identifications fast enough? So one of the things that we'll be looking at as we go forward is we'll set some SLAs around how quickly we should be able to get the info, and really, but not quickly as much as lead time. How much warning do we have that someone is a risk for leaving? And so as we start identifying the amount of time required to retain someone, the amount of action, we can also, as we monitor that, see about changing the cadence of how we respond. So I think I've addressed all the particular items in the assignment. Thank you very much for your time.